because we think of our project and our music really as a whole. It's just
Mm,
like, yeah, it's one song, but the song has to have a meaning and not just like commercial things, not singing about just
absolutely.
anything. It has to have a meaning. And I think back in the days, music used to have maybe a little bit more of meaning than now. And we try to renew that a
Yeah.
little bit.
Great to meet you guys on Zoom.
Nice to meet you too.
Nice to meet you.
Max and Emil. Who's Max and who's Emil?
I'm Emil.
I'm Max.
Well, it's so great to meet you. And I saw you had a little clip on Instagram, and that's where I saw you. And I then went and I tried to find your music and listen to your music, and I just love your music.
Oh, thank you. It's nice to
Yeah,
hear.
Nice to hear.
and I love that it's coming from Vienna.
Yes, that's true. We are based in Austria, born in Austria.
Amazing.
Yeah, and just get started with our music. So
Yeah. So, were you friends before? How did you decide to collaborate?
it started, we both have like a classical background from classical music, and we met there. So I learned cello and Emil.
I learned trombone and piano.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So we began like that, and then we met, and at first had a band with two other members, but we split up, and then we decided to continue just us two.
And then you continued not on the classical route. So, what was it about this type of music, or the more contemporary music that you liked?
No, we just had like a very we had the same vibe, and we
Yeah.
felt like doing music together was bringing us forward, and we had the same ideas, and it all came together.
And I think like the classical background helps us a lot when producing, but we decided to do more like contemporary music because it was always like we love classical music, but we just wanted to do also another genres and try another things out. And I think this is also significant for our musical style. We try a lot of different things from different genres. So I think some could say we do indie pop like in general, but I think most of our songs really differ, like many different aspects, many different styles. Also some things from hip hop, maybe, and some things from more classical rock. Because in the first band we only did covers, and we also did more like classical rock covers, so like Queen and something like that. Yeah.
But I hear, when I listen to your music, I hear some 80 sounds, sounds from the 80s. I mean, so because I was a teenager then, and this is why I immediately recognized these sounds. So, do you know that they're there, or is it on purpose?
More or less.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we really love the like more or less older music, like also from the 80s and 90s. Big idols from us are like Coldplay, U2, Radiohead. I think it's more 90s than 80s, but we try to find our own style, so we mix it up a little bit together. And I think there is also like this disco style, 80s style, is now really popular, getting more and more popular also.
Yeah.
Again.
Yes, I think a big part of that is that we try to implement synthesizers with acoustic instruments, and the synthesizers play a big part of the sound, of course, and that's maybe why it sounds like 80s music. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. That's why I recognize that. But now tell me, and you write your own songs as well, and I listen to the lyrics as well, and it's really beautiful lyrics.
Thank you. Yes, we do everything on our own. So from the beginning, from the lyrics to the producing, also in our little home studio.
Oh
So
wow!
yeah, we do nearly everything except mastering or mixing,
Yeah.
where we used to like give it to professionals. But all the other things we do by our own, and the lyrics are like our own thoughts, also what's happening around the world, many things. And we try to stay positive. We always want to deliver a positive message. So it's always something about I think everybody can relate with, but maybe we hide it between some words, you know. So it's not clear. We want to tell a story, but everyone should have his own interpretation of the lyrics.
Mm. And I mean, songwriting, was it something that you've always done, or was it just recently, since you started the band, that you decided you wanted to write your own music?
I mean, basically, yeah. In our music, in our time during our classical studies, I mean, we were introduced to this thing called songwriting, and of course, then going further along, we implemented that on more like pop music level.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I think we did it a little bit before, just tried a little bit on piano or guitar, some riffs, you know. And in the first band, we also tried to do own songs, but it didn't work out. I think it's like a process on you learn how to write good songs and to produce it, and how you also like a song has to be for your own. And yeah.
Now, and do you write together, or would one write the song and the other one the music, or how does it work?
It depends.
Yeah, it depends. It usually it starts with a specific idea, maybe a guitar riff or some chords on the piano, and then all the other things come together.
Yeah.
Like all the lyrics come together, then some one of us has the idea of a cool vocal line maybe, and that's how the song develops.
I think it's a good collaboration. Sometimes I sit at home and I have an idea, and then I send it to Emil, and Emil says like, okay, I think yeah, that's something we should work on, and then he tries a guitar riff, and then we put everything together. But sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes we have the lyrics first and do the music over the lyrics because we have some specific topic we want to write about. But sometimes you also have the music first and then say, okay, what would fit this style? What kind of lyrics? So.
Well, there must be a good chemistry between you, because this is something that many musicians say, is the chemistry is so important.
Yeah, I think so. It has to be, especially when you are just two, because we are just a two-man group, and it has to be even more better because everything, the whole like pressure or the ideas are just between two of us, and not between like 4 or 5 band members, where it's maybe easier to split up the work or something. Yeah. So it is definitely between us.
Yeah.
But now the name. This is what I always find so interesting. All the band names, and I always ask people, how did you get to the name?
So we tried a lot of names, and we thought a lot about names because it has to be like it has to stick, it has to stay in the people's minds.
Yeah.
It has to have a cool slang to it and
not be too long.
Not be too long, short. So we came up with a lot of ideas, and the name Falling Astronauts just came like in an instant almost.
I think it is because our music always tries to have this kind of, we like to say spherical sound. We often use like bright guitar riffs and use like effects like, you know, echoes or delays. And so that there's like a full sound in the background. So that you have like this bass, with their just sound. Maybe it's some blurry thing, but and we always say it's like the sound like in universe, like this spherical things.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we said, okay, falling astronauts would fit because we are like two people, two astronauts, and we try to find our own style. And we have this spherical sound that means universe is also it fits. And then in my flat, I have like a big tattoo on my um, on like the door, and yeah, and it is an astronaut with two shopping bags. It is like from Banksy.
Okay.
It's kind of a Banksy tattoo. And
Yeah.
then we always sat there when we thought about names, and then I said like, what about astronauts?
Yeah.
Because I really like the tattoo. I think it's really cool. So that was also maybe an influence. So yeah.
I love it. But now that you explained it, it really has a meaning, and it's a meaning that connects to your music. No, I absolutely love it. It's amazing, and that tattoo that behind the door had to be there for you to
Yes.
get the name.
Yeah, that's
You never knew when you put it there that it will eventually one day, serve its purpose.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I'm glad now. So yeah, but it's a really great artwork from Banksy, and I think it's also really inspiring, like ours.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
also a thing we really have a focus on, that our artwork, also for the songs we released, like Colors and Life in Motion, we work closely together with a friend of us who is a graphic designer, and we really try to have like a good artwork, because it's part of the game. We think it's not only the music, also the artwork has to fit. And I'm personally, like, I think you two are a great fan of vinyls, and I sometimes just browse around looking for vinyls and just to hang them up, like, and maybe not listening to them, but just to because the image and the artwork is so great.
Yeah. Well, that's how I grew up with vinyls. This is how we shopped, when we went to a shop and you paged through the vinyls, and it was always the images on the vinyls that, that attracted you as well. And these artists really put a lot of thought and effort in it. If if you read now about some of these albums, the artwork really had a meaning as well, so great. I love that you think about all these things, because that makes the music also, and the whole band, and it's a whole package then that you're working on. Amazing.
We try to, because we think of our project and our music really as a whole. It's just like, it's one song, but the song has to have a meaning, and not just like commercial things, not singing about just anything. It has to have a meaning. And I think back in the days, music used to have maybe a little bit more of meaning than now, and we try to renew that a little bit.
We try to deliver, like we said before, a positive message. It hasn't always to be like depressing or about commercial stuff. I think it has to be positive, and you have to stay positive in those times.
Exactly. And music, music affects people so much, and lyrics and things like that. So if there's really thought about behind it, and this little story behind it also about your band. And I think also, like you say, in these times where everything is so commercial, it's so refreshing to get to to have something like that you are producing, and that you're doing everything yourself, so you can in complete control about what you're doing.
Yes, that's really important to us, because so we really have that kind of independence, and
we want to keep it like that.
And we can really, like, also in the producing process, in the first two songs we had like a little bit more pressure, because also in financial kind of aspects. And we produced more in the studio, because we haven't had our own home studio. And I think we both agreed that the music like pays the price because you're a bit in a hurry and you can take your time to really make it this full, maybe for yourself, perfect sound or something. Because I think we are perfectionists in this kind of way. So it has really, everything has to be good for us.
Yeah. So as a young band now, when you started out, of course, like you say, you had to rent a studio and you had to think about producing a single or get your name out there. So is it difficult in Vienna to do that?
Yes,
Really?
it is really difficult. So I think we would like to get a broader audience also in Vienna, in Austria, but it's really difficult because I think the music we do in Austria is a little bit of a niche because here in Vienna, especially, it's more about classical music. I know we know it from our background, or it's about jazz. We love jazz.
Or Austropop.
You have a jazz background also, Emil. So we also are around in this scene, but it's not the music we do. And it's really difficult because you have this kind of scene where the people meet in niches like jazz, classical, or maybe Austrian pop. But we never do German music. That's also a problem. I think Austria has a big market for music with German lyrics, but maybe not so much for English lyrics. Because if you look at something like Bilderbuch or Wanda, which are great bands, but they have German lyrics and it's more of this Austrian pop. So I think there's a bigger market here than for us. So I think it's kind of difficult for us.
Yes.
So we on purpose target more like other countries where we say, okay, based on our music, they have more potential, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you about the lyrics that's in English. Was that on purpose, or is it just that you write easier in English?
I think we both agreed that German lyrics isn't. I mean, German, the language is beautiful for books and something like that, literature. But for me, I think for you, it's
for me as well,
the same. We think German is not that beautiful when you sing it, just in our ears. I love some German bands I really like, but in general, we listen more to music with English lyrics, and we also wanted to do that. So, and I think it's also more universal. Everyone understands it because we really want to reach a worldwide audience if we think big. And if you sing only in German, I think it's difficult. There are not so many German-speaking countries. So, then at some points you are limited. And we wanted to have no limit in this kind of way also.
Amazing. Yeah, that's true. And, it's like you say, German has its place and the German music has its place. And I must say there are a few Schlager songs that I love, and but it's universal when you sing in English. That's true. So now you say you target other countries. So which countries would you like to go and sing in?
I think we are open for everything, but especially when we look like on bands which are maybe a role model for us, like Coldplay or U2 or something. They're really popular, especially in South America also, because they listen to a lot of indie music, indie pop, indie rock. So maybe also South America, but since I was in Seoul, working there for 2 months, I made some connections in Korea, and I think this K pop is really like evolving.
Oh, okay.
And it's not something we like to do, but maybe some collaborations or something. But in this kind of direction, we thought that maybe Asia is also a region where we could maybe start with our music and target some audience. So
are you open to collaborations because you do your own concerts now?
Since we were founded during COVID, we didn't have many songs after that. We just getting started from concert. We just had like small concerts, but we really want to go on tour on the end of this year or like summer of this year. So we have big plans for that. But I think more in like German-speaking countries like Germany or Austria. But maybe also in Korea because we are in contact with some people there. But I think in general, we are open for collaborations, I think, in every way. Because we are open for every kind of musical style. It could be
Yeah.
an EDM artist or it could be like K-pop artist. It just has to be like a good chemistry. As you said,
Yeah.
it's so important not only between the two of us. It also has like the music has to fit and the people who work together. And I think if that fits, then no matter what kind of music you do, it can work out.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think, like you say, it's always about the chemistry, and you never know who comes on your way and who you collaborate with, who has the same type of energy that you have.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, now, what is the wish then? You want to do concerts, but what is the big dream?
Yeah, the big dream is to get big. To say it in simple ways.
Yeah.
I think the first step would be like to gain our own audience who really listens to our music, and then from that beginning to reach more people. And there's no doubt that we want this to do that professionally, and in the best would be that we can live from our earnings from the music, and to get like that big of an audience that we can really have more independence also in producing and have better quality also, and
Of course,
and more like that. So it's really like a passion. It's a passion, but not a hobby for us. It is like really we want to reach more people and get our music out there. So our wish would be to have a bigger audience, to play live concerts, and maybe do some collaborations, and hope to maybe get our music to major labels or something like that. Because even if you're an independent artist, maybe you have more independence, but I think you still need a little bit of support in many kind of ways, like from labels or promotion wise,
Yeah.
because yeah.
I think if you start off independently and knowing exactly what you want, then it's also easier not to be thrown around, to stay true to who you want to be. And this is also then what labels see. Okay, this is what these guys are doing. So they are constant and they are adamant to do what they want to do. So I think that's true. I don't know how the music business works, but I just assume, that confidence that you build up now by doing your work and doing it the way you want to do, that that stays with you, and that makes you also then people can recognize you then in this way because you're constant in what you're doing. But I really wish for you that all this happens for you, because I really love your music and I would love to come to see one of your concerts.
Thank you. Yeah, we would be glad if you come. I mean, yeah, we are in Vienna and you too, so
Yeah.
we will definitely post when the concert dates are like fixed, everything, and for our tour. Yeah, but like the next big step is in the end of March. We want to release our first EP, so a mini album and there will be 5 songs on it, and that should be kind of our start for maybe reaching more people, because till now we just released singles and didn't do that of much of marketing and promotion. But for the EP, we really see it as our big project, and also want to play it on live concerts so people can really hear live what we do, and not only like online. But we will definitely invite you when we are playing.
Oh, that would be
Vienna.
great. I'm a big fan. But you also do your Instagram very lovely. I think it's great how you introduce yourselves and introduce your music. So that's great. But that's also, that's also part of the marketing, and it's great that you do it that way because it makes you very approachable.
Thank you. Yeah, we try to. Social media is one of our big concerns because we are two people who are, I think, more or less really authentical, and we don't like to just sit in front of a video and doing like we do something, and we don't do it really. Just and that is the difficult thing, because social media is all about, like, there are some real things and truth, and I think social media is a great tool to get more reach, but it's also kind of, you're faking some things, and that's really difficult for us.
You have to put up a certain character to be
exactly,
to be likable to the whole variety of people. And I think to maintain that level is very hard. And we, like Max said, we try to be authentical, and we also want to stay that way.
Yeah, no, I think I like that. That's really, now after speaking to you, I can see, you can, I recognize you also from your Instagram. It's very real.
Thank you. We try to.
But congratulations, really, with where you are now, and I think where you are heading, definitely. And I will keep following you and seeing how your careers developed, and how your band make every step forward.
Thank you. And thank you for the interview and the possibility to talk to you.
It's a great pleasure. It was lovely meeting you too.
Thank you.
Have a lovely afternoon.
You too.
And hope to meet you soon in person.
Yes. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.